Dust 2 was overwhelming from FaZe. If you missed it, you didn't miss much. 13-3 decimation on the part of the favorites, and inbound now for the major with one more map to go for their own victory. It is Overpass, it is the big map pick, and despite their records, despite their confidence in previous lands, this land hasn't seen that much confidence in terms of the playoffs from the big side on this map, and as well as that, Dweg, you got to think about their own mental game off the back of that overwhelming loss.
Yeah, I don't know how you recover. They're probably in their own heads a little bit now. FaZe are just coming for their throat. They are coming for the 2-0. And even though their result was a loss against Fnatic and a win versus Aim Club, that was at the very last land that they played, literally last week. They picked Overpass in both of those best of threes, Jay. So it tells you that they're confident to play it.
Again, the only silver lining for Big is the fact that FaZe are not that great on this map in history. They'll start from the CT side for the favorites. Big quickly involved into the long access. The three core men are going to execute on B. Noise the alert to be generated. The short search, however, may well come up with information. One set of jewelries on Brokey, but it's Jacob on the actual side defensive. First contact to fall immediately from Grixis' part. Then out into the bomb side, taps and domes in twists. This is far better on the start up from the big side, but they haven't accounted for Brokey, and Frozen gets 2 out of heaven. He strikes back just when Big thought they might have had their own. Grix dropped all the same as Brokey will close out the pincers of the B-bomb site. A 3-on-2 reclaim by FaZe. And JDC and Tabson well out position, well out of the bomb site here. Tabson domed in by Frozen. Oh my God, FaZe just can't be stopped.
I can't believe that is an immediate 5v3. Everything goes their way. You think, oh look, maybe the backstab might create a bit of chaos, maybe make it awkward. Frozen does everything. 3 kills in the round to set up that wrap, and JDC's been saying there is nothing more that he's gonna find on this. They can all swing together. They don't even know about the player out towards Graffiti. What a round coming through.
Oh my word, Big. Yeah, a 90-degree tilt at this stage. Like, how do you lose that round? Came in so thick and fast. Jacob and Twist falling effectively, and then it was just Frozen that turned it all around. And then Brokey unaccounted for. Jeez, Big. Still can't catch a break, it seems.
No, none at all. And this is where, for FaZe, you want to try and dominate from the start of this game for as many rounds as possible. You want to give yourself a really healthy lead going into that second half, because there will be some struggles, but you've got to get Big and their mindset crushed. And I think they certainly have achieved at least that first step of the plan after the scoreline of map number 1.
Big were routed. And a harsher eco for the second round here. We'll leave the SMG and the rifles around it to quickly clean house here. Barvin caught first, just the double. Triple, nothing but eventually get secured in the end. Grix with one trade is always going to get. The rifle stay in for the FaZe side though. And the money now bolsters for Big to buy into their first set of rifles.
I mentioned that they picked Overpass in Drakland versus Aim Club and Fnatic. They got 3 rounds against the Romanians on their T side, and then just 4 against Crims and the Ukrainian core. So they've got to look at it of saying, right, let's try and steamroll as much as possible. Let's try and give ourselves some really healthy streaks, just like we did in the last game. I mean, the way that they conducted themselves against Ilwa was exactly how map number 1 went down here on Dust 2. Farfen, quick, coming out of the gate, looking for that first entry. Now, he's caught a good timing on info, but not enough to be able to strike with a kill.
Blameoff and Grix will try and set themselves up to catch off Carrigan. They put them deep in nade. Thought the Blame was going to use that to open the smoke and try and bear down upon him. Instead, it will just fade, and Farven takes a quick burst of fire. Both players on the scene. A blind shots, hoping that Carrigan re-aggresses. He's right to do so. Only a tag, not the frag.
But at the moment, they're playing 4B. They're just leaving Brokey as someone that can maintain that AWP, front side of the bathrooms, keep searching. No util has come towards him. We've not seen a molly out towards Divider. We've not seen further util of flashes. And Twist is going to rotate up, and it gets very silent from Big.
Nade damage continues to compound against the CT side. Big are on the front foot for the start of the round. Yet to find a kill, though. Doesn't mean anything in terms of guaranteeing the round itself. JDC will try and make a search. Brokey's AWP is watching the mid-access, dips out of the aggressive angle, something more passive, and refaces to find Tabson in the end.
JDC needs to get a good timing. The jump spot is not seeing him out from Bang.
Engaged, still not found for JDC, though. Twist wins the fight. A 5-on-3 ensues once again for FaZe. Big going to try and hit the bomb site regardless. The smokes will keep them suppressed. They can at least get the bonus cash injection, but really want to try and fend off the retake and hold around here.
Really composed for them in that 5v3 to not even keep fighting through that bank smoke, just regroup together as a unit.
Farther now, attention drawn towards Karrigan, who seems to have a good read on what Big are planning here. Gonna wait for the right moment to strike with the backstab. His teammates will make their way in first from Bank and Dumpster. AWP, shots missed out, but still Grits couldn't punish it. The jump face now reveals Blame F. 3 around that corner and doesn't get a damn thing for it. Farthen sussed out by Karrigan, cut down by Jacob. And FaZe, a flawless retake for a 3-0.
And if you're not worried, if you're on this big side, then I don't even know what you're doing in this grand final. Mate, they have just been owned. And perhaps this is now what the next few months is going to be like for preparation for the major. Even though the cutoff is now the major doesn't start straight away, they need experience against tier 1 teams. They need to get themselves at the higher end levels of the scene and against teams like the caliber of FaZe more regularly. Because if they go into the major playing like this, well, you're going to be going out of the major pretty quickly.
It's not looking good. Hero Galil for Blame F as Big start to get a bit desperate, honestly. On the opening kick, nades sent back. Incendiary's up, burst 5 from Blame, gets absolutely nothing. Saw his man fired prematurely. And Jacob can tank a nade, but he gets the kill on Blame.
And now you just start getting the Galil in different hands. But it's another good setup out here on B. Re-smokes keep going down towards Monster, so you can't really keep accelerating B. Then there's more info that's going down from the A players. FaZe looks so conducted right now.
Advantage pure and true. Big gets spotted out towards short access. Karrigan, Jacob involved in the crossfire. Get those picks in more so. JDC next to full as it's Grix and Towson shortly after. Farther than 1v5. No chance. His first kill of the game is at least secured. But just seeing the lack of impact from Big, not improved upon from Dust 2 into Overpass. Not seeing any stance of a return. Not seeing any chance of a return. Another very good start on the map for FaZe.
And for you and IJ, I mean, Tier 2 is our scene, okay? We do these LANs, we cover these online teams. We know what the top of Tier 2 really looks like. The way that FaZe have played on map 1 and on map 2, you can just see the quality difference, can't you? The crosshair placement, the way they're playing off of one another, searching, it is different level completely.
And Big aside have only taken on top level Tier 2 opposition at best. I'll feel in the heart from that. Genuinely believe that there would be something greater about them. No matter what you bring it down to, the mentality, the complacency, the fact that they got what they came for in terms of the major spot. Or just the fact that they were not good enough on this day. It's disappointing to see things end like this. And I am talking like the series is over because it kind of does feel like it, even if we are only 4 rounds deep.
Oh, I thought that about round 5 on Dust 2.
Farther will find Karrigan, try and force out a fight on Jacob as well. So tagged up heavy, HG's coming in his direction. Still brings the fight on towards Brokey. And that's a little bit more like it. Triple generated, 1 man worth of impact. The bomb's now going to commit towards the B site. And Big should get on the board.
Great work coming through from Farfen. And that is an individual sequence that we've just been screaming for across map 1 and map 2. We've had hardly any. And that was an uneasy round. I mean, you had tabseN already low on red HP. It was a 4v4. They needed someone to break open entries, to deal with the defenders out on B. Farfen steps up to the plate.
First on Big's board at last. Took the efforts of one man. And they have to form around him and try and get something greater here. Try and return your own map pick. Might be T side of overpass. Still a great map for the big camp, so long as they can prove it here at this level. And those stats and those bases they can play from look to shine through. FaZe right back on the buy though. They have not taken that much of a hit to their economy state, but still got cash in reserve even now.
And you wonder at what point do FaZe finally get tested in this grand final? Is it the first half? Is it the second half? Does it not even occur at all? Big. Trying to see if they can follow rounds up in a row. Molly comes in, Twist, insta swings, flash, and still somehow does not get traded by blameF.
Very, very poor game from him. Underwhelming on map number 1 and Fragless so far on map number 2. tabseN dead to rights with nothing re-secured by Big. Twist. And needs to be sent his direction to try to clear up in that smoke. It's a good thing he didn't peek back towards the connected doorway. Hold his nerve and try and hug the top composition. JDC is going to try and hunt him on a solo mission. Twist will disappear and blameF still catches them out with a blind spray. There's your return.
Well, that's unlucky. Twist knows he's got to get out of there eventually, and he was just hoping for the right timing. But look at what's happened elsewhere. Karrigan has walk-pushed Monster. So now you start defending A, and you've got to try and block with Util. Now, Brokey's got a smoke. Frozen's got an incendiary. Karrigan's backstab will win this round for FaZe.
Assuming Big can even make it through the defensive line. Frozen. HE from his teammates to try and reveal. Brokey takes tag damage, but Frozen lands on JDC. Advantage extended back towards FaZe favor. And Karrigan slowly but surely closes in those pincers, but the M4s are not done on sight. AWP shot of Grix missed out. Farben caught by Frozen on a double up. Triple not quite secure, but blameF has got no further chances. Second kill in the round. Bomb lost to him. He's dipping away to try and fall out position. Karrigan trying to deny the save here from the bathroom's entrance. AK in his hands. Shot connects to the Dane. From the Dane, from FaZe.
And this is just such a humbling experience right now for Big, when really they should be elated with the qualification, and I'm sure they are. Since the release of CS2, Big have previously qualified to only 1 out of 4 majors, that being the Perfect World Shanghai major, where they didn't even win a single match in the elimination stage. Copenhagen, Austin, Budapest, they were all failures. So now that you've qualified to home turf of IEM Cologne, it's great. You get Big back on the map, you get them back towards Tier 1. But then I look at the way that you've performed in this grand final, and it puts a sour taste in my mouth.
Jacob continues to win fights against Farben. No casualties connected against FaZe. He is low HP. JDC still fragless in this matchup. Still fragless in this game particularly.
And he's up against an ex-teammate, right? Him and Frozen played 200 maps together on HLTV on Mouse. They even reached the semi-final of the IEM Rio Major a few years ago. So when JDC sees what Frozen's doing on the other side, he's thinking, man, I can't even shoot back right now.
Two very different career paths for two very different players, and even the backgrounds when they were batting together on Mouse. Advantage still for FaZe. Big yet to generate a response. JDC will be playing point of contact. Counter nades. Tickling his HP bars, although HE's been broken and get close to the center of mass. Out of the Molotov fire and the back lines of the back of Dice. The backstabs will be a lot slower from FaZe this time. The bomb can at least try and get planted.
They're just so happy to play retake, just like they did with the 5v3 previously. Now, is there an extremity player somewhere? Karrigan's going to come up from COD. Now, last time he activated very late.
tabseN's reading it though. Check on timing. Carrigan looks up, checks his man. tabseN puts him back down. Okay. Game on in this round. 4-on-4. And a shot from JDC. What a first to land. A second kill for him in the game. With Grix and blameF finally chiming in. A little bit of coordination out of Big. A spark of life from the boys. It's still just one round and many, many more required for them to really mount up a winnable stance against this FaZe side.
Yeah, they've got to get themselves in an economy management break. They've got to make sure they can eventually force FaZe onto a double eco or even just a complete reset. The rebuy comes back after losing everyone, and you've still got an AWP, you've still got full M4s.
Quick out, short access, and a monster play coming in from blameF. He's walked right past one CT individual. Footsteps heard as Jacob's going to get caught. Grix close range against Carrigan, deals with him out monster. And just like that, Big has sprung into life. 5-on-3, Frozen, Brokey, and Twist falling away to save. JDC on the lurk will try and hunt them down, but the round is done.
A bit of a gimmick coming through there from blameF, a lot quicker than we've seen previously. They're just scaling through the util. Both of the B players just didn't see it coming. And for FaZe, you hold on to 2, make sure you try and protect those weapons, make sure they don't get hunted down. Big have finally been able to get a few rounds in a row, and look, at least they can match up the 3 that they got out on map number 1, but you've got to be pushing for, let's say, 5, 6 T rounds from this position.
And to start here, and certainly more than we were seeing from Big on Dust 2. 3 weapons will definitely aid FaZe Clan's awkward buy state for the next round. Doesn't look like they'll get hunted down here. JDC's not facing the right angles. They're on economy state here for Big. All 5 will maintain their lives. And whilst FaZe can drop weapons, they're talking about $2,000 across the majority of players, so it won't be anything major. SMGs get passed over with extra utility in mind.
And this is now going to be a testing moment for Carrigan to try and outcall the likes of blameF. Start coordinating CT defenses. And they've done very well to the start here of Overpass, but there's just a bit of pressure coming in from Big. The last thing you want is to lose this follow-up force by end up getting 5-5 and then give at least the international side here of Big a bit of momentum to work with.
Burn through a lot of their defensive utility. FaZe, of course, limited on the start and the outset. Still got smoke and an incendiary for Carrigan on the monster defensive. Flashes and HEs for Brokey and Twists. One of which just got used there to nobody out there. You connect the doorway. Similar strategy to the pistol round with long access going to be taken to try and play the low with the real execution coming in towards BB and Monster. That incendiary from Carrigan and smoke down to cancel it.
Yeah, Brokey's in a good position to deal with JDC in the front side of the bathrooms. We've not previously seen FaZe aggressive in the bathrooms. They've always been sitting back, playing dice, and more so out there towards the APC.
Grix is watching. Frozen. Found a gap in the fence. Footsteps were heard. The shot rings out from Grix, but he's not ready for Frozen's quick responsive. And now they have to try and commit the B side here. The game is up. The jig is over. The SMG of Carrigan still strikes down. blameF can upgrade to a weapon. Farming going to take that bomb and counter rotate that. They're not ready for Frozen to be extended. tabseN responds, grabs that bomb, and now JDC enters into the A bomb site. It's him and tabseN against Brokey, Twist, and Carrigan.
They know that there's got to be a lurk somewhere. There's no way they're going to counter rotate that quickly unless someone's taken space.
Carrigan's in mid. 6 seconds. Oh, he just hit the aim punch. They're going to go forward. AK's supposed to fight, and they just get both the kills back. JDC with a return, but that'll be enough. They stalled out the bomb a little bit too long. tabseN took a little bit too much time. And FaZe return once again.
And Big just don't feel comfortable at the moment in the server. You're noticing how slow the reaction is to faking B, then going back towards A, then even when they get it in the 2v3, rather than just forcing the plant straight away, they're taking time to scale up on the bomb side. And Frozen is being a serious impact man. Really good flood of the bomb site. You always know that they're going to create chaos when the time's that low.
Bricks up, no one goes down. Trying to reface towards the short access. His teammates getting in the way though, and Karrigan not fall victim to the AWP. Instead he falls victim to blind sprays of blameF. He gets lucky on that kill beyond the monster smoke. Bricks back away from contact. They've got that man advantage here, Big.
They're trying to get some util up from Twist. They're going to get a counter boost. We've not seen a lot of boosting on the CT side towards B.
Bricks is watching it though. Sets him down. Big trying to generate some life in themselves, trying to generate some return on the T side. It has been hit and miss. And this round looks to be a hit. That might just be enough against FaZe, who are still limited on funds. They might be calling in save calls early. The execution set to the B side. Jacob forced away from Heaven via the Heaven smoke. Rotations of his teammates is not coming in at all here from FaZe. Indeed, they are going to make the concession. And Big will find 4.
They're just a bit unlucky. Karrigan was out there in Monster and blameF breaks the smoke and just starts spamming. And once you get a clean connection on Overpass, you have to force some sort of info. It doesn't matter if it's a counter boost, if it's someone rewalking the bathrooms, checking out long. There's got to be some activity somewhere. And they try and get a boost with a flash, and Grix is just holding the angle, forcing that 5v3, forces in the gamble towards A. And Big get themselves up to 4. The difference now 2.
Can Big even the half? It certainly would be a far better result in the opening half compared to the last map up, which was so overwhelming from FaZe that Big never even had a chance to maintain evens. And you mentioned those T-side bases that FaZe had over Fnatic and Aim Club. They can continue to close this gap, and Big may still well do enough. As really unlikely as that seems, right? Like, it is still a map that's favourable towards them. Confidence still sits with FaZe, though. Prowess still sits with FaZe, though. And in general, they have been the better team in this matchup. But the numbers, the economy, the luck factor may all still favour Big at this moment. Again, the buy state is broken for FaZe. The 2 players that went down have SMGs.
FaZe have been able to work buys like this in the past. It was only a few rounds ago that they were able to convert one. Twist working out towards Connector. 4B early round, and the AWP even being brought over.
Jacob spray. Seems like it's line up a lot more damage than it really is doing to Tabs and blameF, but walk out, twisting con, information called out, only gets the 1 kill for it, blameF fast response. He's starting to really spool himself up here. He's starting to get back involved in this match. As one of the all-important rifles dropped there. Jacob with the other one, Brokey with the AWP. JDC on his search out towards this long position. He's been that lurker quite frequently. Brokey's all alone on the side defensive, though. This could be a backstab against him.
But it looks to be a really good timing for JDC, because it's only a solo A setup at the moment, and he's walking forward, which means the back's going to get turned here from the AWPer. Frozen is getting a rotation back because there's no pressure out towards short. Still plenty of time here. It's the lack of util that's a bit concerning for FaZe. Looks to be a really good timing for JDC, because it's only a solo A setup.
Frozen's SMG is worried about that long access, but footsteps hold. Brokey sees his man. JDC to swing out to the right-hand side of the dice. He gets his kill on Frozen. Second man's now crossed up. Shot does not connect. They're way too close. And that should send it on this round. Bomb plant secured. Karrigan and Jacob. Especially Jacob wants to consider the save call. Karrigan's found another M4. But no more than that. He will back away to keep a couple of weapons into the final round of the half. FaZe did force the issue here. Their funds will be broken, so Big will look to even the half. And well, considering where we started in this map up and in this series, that is a massive positive for them.
Yeah, it's a good recovery out on their map pick. We're just seeing JDC work a really good timing. It's a bit unfortunate for Brokey. He finally sees that they've crossed out, and what he's hoping for is, rather than strafing to the right and dealing with JDC first, he's waiting for the second player to arrive, and there's just quite a bit of spacing between him and Tabson. So eventually you start looking in both directions, And then your other bomb site player is not only out in the open, but doesn't even have an M4, so it's always going to be difficult to challenge those rifles. FaZe just didn't quite have the lean at the right time, didn't quite have the read. So more danger comes in. A 5th now for Big.
Indeed, a broken buy state for FaZe. So Big on track to even the half. A huge result, all things considered, again for them. Jacob can at least throw from resistance, though, with one of the rifles that was saved over, finding Farven to kick things off. On AK to play with his own right, can pass it off to a teammate or his M4 back towards Frozen. Twists for Mars, getting out of dodge there towards Con. Long extension from Carrigan could provide threat. Twist can descend from the next present, seen by one. JDC takes him out. Now BlameF can walk up, not ready for Jacob though. Grix forced to trade Carrigan, keeps the man advantage on the other side of the map.
Oh, Brokey hears these footsteps, knows that there's at least 2 players really close by. They don't know that he's here.
Revealed nothing. Absolutely nothing, but it's all still a ruse. That bomb's still back over towards the monster entry pods. It might come down to tabseN in a 1v3. JDC's caught, Frozen takes him aback, and Grix now knows that his man out in the bathrooms, he's searching for him. Unawares of a player that's out towards Connector though. Tech9 swings, spams, and gets nothing. And now tabseN needs to plant and fend off a 1v3.
He's got himself a smoke, so he can get that down. He needs to fight though, he needs to take space.
Looking in Con, doorway's open. Jacob may have seen him, the CTs are quickly charging up, incendiaries on shore, they definitely have the info. Jacob, they out the shots and sprays, and I confirm it. Leans up, Orpa, missed out, second engage, 1v1, last man pulled out of Frozen, and tabseN delivers an individual moment of his own. One that does even the half for Big, and maybe, just maybe, shows a sign of life.
Oh, fair play to tabseN. That is impeccable. Really well played. To be able to isolate those fights, to get drawn into that connector player, and then focus the attention back over. FaZe were being so protocol heavy in that 3v1. Didn't want to get the round over and done with too quickly. Didn't want to just wide swing him. They try and play it by the book, and instead the vet steps up. Over 900 HLTV land maps. Look at the movement. Backs off, and Frozen can't believe that they've not been able to get him in the end.
Okay, Big, what do you got for us? JDC's got himself a couple kills out of USPs already. 2 straight picks. And a man advantage as his trade does come down. FaZe on the back foot.
Well, they're going to have to work for this win now. It looked free for so many periods across map 1 and early stages of map 2. Grix and the jump spot from tabseN, all timing on this first player.
Good shot on Carrigan next. Clinical stuff from the USPs here. Brokey tagged, Frozen unaccounted for, does take down Grix. Brings us back to a manageable position as tabseN is tagged up of his own right. Backup has arrived and is also closing in towards the mid position. Frozen in his own 1v3. Can't hit the headshots though. Running out of ammo against tabseN, will go falling, but Farven takes the responsive. And Big are for the first time in the lead.
And we just had JDC hitting 2 nutty shots with the USP aggressively out from Party. That came out of nowhere. I think the sharpness has been okay, definitely at a much higher level on Overpass than what it was out on Dust 2. But look at that. That may be one of the sharper sequences you're going to see in the entirety of the map.
Big have given themselves a key opportunity now. Pistols of FaZe unable to do much here in this round. The rifles will be out for the next. BlameF finds Carrigan, kicks things off on the right foot. And so long as the Deagle of Frozen doesn't dome any heads, you shouldn't see much threat in the round. Engaging his teammates, very awkward spray from JDC to completely contrast the USPs of the last round. M7 Grix. 2, 3, 4 caught by him. Can upgrade to that M4 as well. Keep it in play. Owen, he's farmed a nice $2,400 of bonus cash. And the lead can extend for Big. Now Rifles back in from FaZe.
And this is what everyone's hoping for, right? If FaZe are going to qualify to the major, they might as well work for it. It shouldn't just be an easy series where they can overwhelm a big organization. They were up 5-2, oh, 5-1, I should say, at one point in the first half, and now they're down by 2 rounds. So all of that early momentum has definitely disappeared. Some very good clutches have come through, and now this first gun round could see them going down 6-10.
I'm going to move quick to try and deny that here. On towards long access. JDC is the man to defend it. In fact, he's the only player right now on the A defense at all. Heavy-handed towards B as he checks, he fights and does win out on one on Jacob. Twist with the bomb on his back. Going to swing back in the flashbang. JDC is going to get caught off guard as a result of that. Caught flustered, mispositioned. At least the rotations are fast from Grix. He now holds the long access at a 4-on-4.
Even though they've seen the bomb, they're not mass over-rotating players. Now, Grix is getting forced away by Util, but he still wants to try and lean into the bomb site. Karrigan's got a really good timing.
Grix, higher ground taken. Karrigan swings up, spray through. But Grix lands his orb shot on Brokey. Twist trying to look for that gap in the smoke. Karrigan charging into the man. BlameF saw him. He tries to escape back to the back lines. Grix being faced. He's so ready for the day. No scope, straight to the head. Frozen. Desperate to suss out BlameF right here. Head turned away, Twist looking on. They're both going to swing, and they will get BlameF, but Grix lands another kill. A triple in the round for Mars on the backstab, and Frozen in a 1v2. Bomb was dropped very early into that execution. A smoke will come down and give him a bit of cover so he can secure that plant. A little bit of bonus cash, but the retake is another thing entirely. The USP is seen, the AWP is spotted. Farven still weakened in the weapon state by comparison to Frozen, but he still lands that kill. And Big bring home 3 on the trot in this half.
Karrigan was just expecting that if I can get aggressive through that smoke, Grix is probably repositioned out there towards Bank, and instead he's just pretty much point blank at him. Always the best range to go for a no-scope. Mate, BlameF. I can't believe how long he survived for on the backside near trucks. They kept spamming that smoke, didn't they? They knew he was there. They just couldn't drop him. And then Farfen gets himself into a really tight off angle out from the flowers rather than being on rotation out from Banana, in from the bathrooms itself. Poor FaZe have got some pressure against them now. And for Grix, I mean, he's looked pretty average for the majority of this best-of-3 series. He's missed a lot of AWP shots. That will be some confidence for the young man to finally have a round where you feel as if you're competing, that you've generated a highlight.
And despite all those whiffs, all those moments that we've seen from him just looking very shoddy and a liability, he's still top fragging. 14 deep on this map up and a massive sequence that definitely helped the situation there from Big. Maybe it's the end of his woes here in this series. Six in a row for Big. Advantage claimed over FaZe. Looking to extend it even more so with only pistols available for the favourite squad. It does look like Overpass will pan out in the way it has done for Big in the past. This is a turnaround that starts to maybe look a little bit threatening, especially going into that Anubis, a map that FaZe in similar fashion to Overpass in recent history have not been favoured on.
And you can only expect that the guys over at Sinners are just starting to believe a little bit. There's a bit of belief. Oh, there's going to be so many eyes on this matchup. And that's one of the great characteristics of VRS, not just in the Europe scene, but also in the Americas. Other games having implications on whether certain teams qualify or not.
I believe Blade Ito is co-streaming in this matchup. Currently on his hands and knees, praying to whatever god he believes in that FaZe do bottle this. So far, Big have maintained that bottle job of their favoritism. JDC with a triple, Grix with a final. And they're getting really hyped up now. They're getting loud. Big know what they've done here. Collapsed in the first. Felt like they were going to collapse in the second, but brought it back from a major deficit. And now look to take their own map pick. It wasn't eco against the FaZe side, however, so temper expectations. The rifles will be back. But it could still lead Big into a 12-6 map point.
And body language does tell you quite a lot of information. It's a great sign for Big that they're getting loud, that they're getting pumped up. It means that they're treating this game seriously. A wake-up call after map number 1. A very disappointing performance out on Dust 2. If they want to consider themselves to be a threat at Tier 1, then you've got to be beating the Tier 1 teams. You may be successful in Tier 2. You may already have LAN titles, but you've got to play some of the best teams in the world. tabseN searching. Not seeing anything out here from the short water, so he's going to bring blameF in, and they're going to keep scaling.
Look at the line of engagement from FaZe here. So wary of any contact angles. The jump face of Karrigan will get the AWPer to reveal himself. JDC still in connector though. Might have a threat coming in from underpass. Meanwhile, tabseN, can't quite take the fight on Frozen. Loses his life in that one. Grix is good to trade back Karrigan though. Response is fantastic. Now, JDC's got to deal with Jacob in bottom corner. He finds him. Wonderfully done. Advantage reclaimed. Twist trying to get it back to an even stance, but nothing else is being offered by Big.
And no one's giving him an extension. JDC is going to finally start making some noise, but Grix is still pinned on this angle. If Twist overextend, the AWP's just going to find him.
Grix will finally start to reposition to a much better angle. We might see several of them though. Shot back, trades are good. Bomb gets dropped. They have the information there for Big. blameF can start to cut off the rotations into the B bomb side. JDC has backup right behind him. The shots are ringing out from that AWP. The swing in from JDC. Dry as you like, but Frozen will fall. And Twist on 36 can't win the clutch. JDC, he himself has stepped up. Was 0 and 6 at one point in this map up. Grix ain't the only man to turn his game around.
And this is turning into a serious choke now from FaZe. They were up 6-2. This is 9 rounds in a row from Big. And when we reflect on the second half, there's been a lack of bomb plants. We had that, what, 1v2 from Frozen where he got the bomb down and tried to fight against the AWPer of Grix. And there was something, a bit of life in that round. But for the majority, it has been Big clotheslining them. I mean, even the statement they made on the pistol, right? JDC just getting the instant 2-tap.
blameF finding the opening starts on Karrigan. Continue to compound FaZe's issues on T side. You mentioned that T side weakness earlier. 4 rounds against Fnatic, 3 rounds against AIM Club, and 3 rounds against Heroic in recent LAN performances on this map. And right now it might be no rounds against Big if they don't change this up here now. The first kill's gone the way of the CT forces. At least Frozen's found a trade back on tabseN, taking some amount of revenge.
And now the pressure really kicks in, not just now, but the last few rounds for Big. Because they know that FaZe they're desperate. They really need anything at this point. So they're going to start getting a little bit more individual. They're going to start getting a little bit more risky. Grix, that AWP is not seeing anything right now.
Frozen seen and sprayed. Farben frags him down. Grix now pressured at close range of the AWP. Twist can dome him. And JDC, right now he's alone. Twist not checking for him though. Last 2 players have been seen. JDC wary of Brokey. HE is coming his direction. Will line right past him. And Brokey connects that kill. Farben first to the scene. He's low. The HE will catch him. And FaZe indeed look to steal here. blameF up to try and clutch and deny. Up to the position I think he was just barely missed out on. blameF searching around the dice angle. He knows that the bomb was planted default. He's got no util to block vision. Search for Jacob in mid. Finds him, can't get the headshot. The AWPer will slowly close in the pins to blameF with that quick kill. But where's the last man? No info on Brokey. Back is turned towards Long. The shot connects for the Deagle, not the AWP. It's good enough for FaZe. They finally score their first in the half, denying Biggs map points.
Oh, just about tight rounds. That was very close, very competitive. And it ends the streak of 9 in a row. But let's be honest, let's be real with ourselves. Do we see this being an overtime? Do we see this being a 2-0? I don't think so. Big don't even have too much of an economical reset behind them after losing that round. They'll have no problem rebuying.
What Big have gained is still insurmountable in general. For the shutdown phase and been able to lose 8 on the trot. Nade damage is good on tabseN and tabseN, though they're tagged up. FaZe play from behind. And they play it slow.
Yeah, this is very slow. And Big, considering that the buy state is quite weak with the SMG, the util, let's just say the HP bars, you'd imagine at some point they need a bit of a gamble. Now there's a lurk smoke going on B, and Farfen's just going to get flashed to just watch the edge of it, just in case someone tries to scale out Monster.
Farfen flashed in, but he just got spotted by Frozen there. Headshot taken. Karrigan now charges up into the bomb site. Gonna dive out towards water. Charge under Blameff will take him back with that M4 pulled out ahead of the knife. Lying inside the smokes of the CT players, as on the T side line. TabseN waiting for an angle of attack. Blameff's going to get caught. Grix deals with Jacob and now finds Frozen in amongst it. They still don't know about TabseN's position here. He can deny the bomb with this. HE's on Brokey, forced to reposition. Sprays are good of TabseN, denies him. Twist 1v3, one man pick. Second man known. Third player coming in on rotate. And that's the last man of the clutch. 1v1 on JDC. And Twist doesn't know. 10 seconds. Time's almost up. JDC just going to hide. Play behind the bigger box. No information to gain. Twist is charging up to make some noise. Oh, he's seen him. Oh, he gets him. And I think he just about wins the round for FaZe in time. Oh, man, that came down to the wire.
Oh, he's read that so well. He is not even thinking about the bomb. He's only thinking about the kill. JDC could be anywhere, but the experience tells him he's got to be around that bridge smoke somewhere. Oh, he was so narrow-minded to that one area, and it was the perfect read.
Twist comes up clutch. And FaZe have reset big. This ain't so simple anymore. Big's pistols. All they have to work against Brokey's, AWP, and the rest of the FaZe boys. You'll find the first kill damage on JDC. They will try and stack in against him, but he's just isolating each individual fight here. Blameff picked up next. He will go down soon enough, but the bomb can now commit towards the B side, knowing that there's nobody out here. It's one consolation prize for Big, but not one that will win around here. Have to let it go. Have to let it go back to FaZe. Secure the gun buy in the next round with AWP support. Grix saving that weapon for free, and Big get pressed up until the end.
Well, that save is huge, because let's just say Grix wanted an AWP in the next round. He wouldn't have been able to get one with armor. It would have been glass cannon. Not even a teammate would have been able to drop it over. So that AWP allows him to not only buy armor, but full nades. So that will make a difference. 11-6, now 11-9. Oh, is there something here? I mean, win this next gun round, and it's an 11-11 game, and then I think if FaZe get it to 11-11, then you start backing them, don't you? Then you start giving them the favoritism to close in two.
Well, it just screams of that Magic result. Magic were up 11-8. Well, Big came back and won 5 in a row. Can they fight from the front foot this time and seal this deal on this map? Tactical has been called in by the Big squad. They have their buy basis. They have their chance to shut this down. Despite keeping 4 players in this round, FaZe is still lacking for reserve funds. This one still rests on a knife's edge. This map up still contested by both sides. FaZe, however, have momentum on their side now. Blameff finds a spray back on Jacob, boosted up into Con, sprays him down immediately. JDC gets tagged in the process.
Brokey's hoping for the B anchor to create a bit of movement out towards Monster. Karrigan's seen someone towards the barrels.
Farfen just dips out of the way, not to lose his life. Might see some nades sent their direction. They've got a couple available for Brokey and Frozen. Both men out on short if they decide to leave this short access from the AWP in particular. Farfen's not moved from that position. You've got TabseN still available also towards ramp. Brokey is expecting an aggressive phase. He's expecting someone to move forward, but that's just not the case here. Big are not biting.
Well, Monster's weak. If Brokey's not seeing any movement, they know that there's no Monster play out. blameF has got another spam kill.
It's like his third of this map, I believe. Several out on Monster on karrigan. This time, one more down. Frozen and Jacob both caught by blameF. Farven utilizing smokes. HG's coming in his direction. Get tagged up, the 41 HP, but he's still alive and kicking. karrigan walking in the side. tabseN hasn't registered his headshot though. No adjustment to there. The man's now been seen, and now Frozen needs to act. Farven needs to act. He gets a triple sequence, and that seals it now. 12 to the border, Big. They're on map point.
That's a crazy sequence coming out from blameF. The insta boost to look out towards Connector. Strike with that first, and then for whatever feel it was for that second, spam that wood wall. Look at the timing against Frozen.
FaZe felt like they were this close to closing this series down. Felt like they had all the confidence in the world. And Brokey still does with the AWP shot on tabseN looking wonderful on the flick. JDC going to get pressured by two more down here. Gonna lean and con. Brokey's going to spring the trap. Shots on, connecting JDC to fall. We're in a 5-on-3 for FaZe here. Big will not close so easy.
And Brokey saying, whatever you can do, blameF, I can do better. Instantly striking with two. And now for Big, you start gamble stacking. And Farfen's already left the B bomb site. They are just going to leave 3 towards A, and if they hit B, they hit B. We save the weapons.
We're more beneficial towards them, but the AD fault is still centering around from FaZe. Bricks catches his man in con. Jacob down. blameF back turn towards the other bathroom's entrance. Twist will get away at low HP, but get the kill back onto the man. Farven looking to face him with the other AK, but Twist lands his headshot. Meanwhile, the teaser moving on towards the B bomb site, and now Grix is missing shots again. The bomb will be planted, and the hunt is on for FaZe to take this weapon out of his hands to give Big nothing to work with in the next. And try drag us kicking and screaming into the 24th round and into overtime for themselves. And indeed, Grix will fall to Twist. A triple from him once again. Stepping up for the FaZe side and denying Big's closure.
And this would just be the most FaZe way to qualify to the major. To be 6-11 down on your opposition map pick, to be up against 3 map points now on Overpass, and still get it towards OT, still win it and close in 2. Big. Well, they've definitely been the stronger team out on Overpass. It was a very good start coming through from FaZe to get themselves up at that 4-0, the 6-3. They've clawed, they've allowed blameF to really show up. We had some low numbers from some of the impact guys. Oh, some of the shots, though. I mean, even Twist, the crosshair placement on the second kill that he got against Farfen. The first one was all right, but it's this one. I mean, that's just unbelievable.
Look at the buy state of Big. SMG on blameF, FAMAS out the Farven. Latches in for them to try and check for Jacob, but they don't see him at underpass. Nothing seen on the B searches, so the CT's back off entirely. Might end up formulating to a gamble over on the A bomb site. Twist map control certainly indicates it.
Well, Farfen is very light out here on B, and everybody else is just going to send themselves forward. Now, they've got one more resmoke that you would expect go down towards the front side of the bathrooms, maybe with 30-odd seconds on the clock. It's coming a bit earlier than I thought.
And start searching here. They might be lulled into a false sense of security. No shots on JDC. P250, Greeks gets tested a little bit, but he gets away with that kill. Jacob with a responsive. The bomb has been dropped, though. Carrigan looking to search for other options. Utility being sent in from long, though. Going to try and indicate this to be a full-on A commitment. Even so much that the FAMAS has left the B-bomb site. And the rotations are in full effect now. Player at heaven. That's Farven firing blindly, trying to catch a player from the edge of the bomb site, but nothing else is gained. Bomb will be secured. Money from Big would stack up into a buy in the next, but they've got an AK on Tabson. A guaranteed rifle on Farven. Only $1,900 a loss bonus. They want to stick it out. They want to keep this Kevlar. They want to keep these guns.
And we are yet to see an overtime in from Big. We have seen them get to round 24 in the past. It happened against Xera Tenacity in the last map of Nuke, and it happened against Magic Out on Overpass, both times with 13-11 wins. So they've got that in the back pocket, that they know that they can close right at the death. And as for FaZe, we've been talking about it all series, they've not given double digits over to anybody. So this is the first time that they've been tested right at the end.
They're on for OT. On map number 2. One of the last chances that FaZe have at this 2-0. Big to win this would drag us into a third. Anubis, again, unfavored on its histories on FaZe's part. Big may look to strike them down. Look at the extensions as well. JDC, the most aggressive he's been outside of an eco. Hearing the footsteps coming into the to the park side, I should say. Where Grix is lying in wait with the AWP. Flashbangs forward. They're going to start searching the boost. Has spotted their man, but JDC is still an unknown element. Shots ringing out. Carrigan better hard check this. They're moving on towards the park. M4 spray goes awkward. Carrigan gets his kill. Grix at least finds Brokey in the interim. He maintains a 4-on-4.
And Twist is taking that moment to now take long space. Blame F out in connector, fully tucked.
Jacob, back turned. Timing's perfect for Blame. They're down to 3. FaZe seeing the swing. The shot from Grix gets a little bit overly zealous, and Twist brings it back to evens once again. The A site's looking light on defenders, so Tabson will get back there. But FaZe slow it down.
Blame F is still in connector, so Carrigan knows I can't bring that bomb through that area until we clear it out. Twist was long, now he's bathrooms. 40 seconds on the clock. This is going to be an A-lane, and Blame F is still dangerous.
.30 seconds, Twist. They searched on by Tabson, and the headshot comes in for the German. Here's them coming as well towards the bathrooms. He's going to re-aggress, find a spray to a 2K. Carrigan good to trade, but now he's also low, running in with the bomb pulled out. Farven can end it, and Big can send us into a third from the death. Decimated, but not out of this one. We will be off to Anubis to see whether they can spoil FaZe's chance at the Cologne Major.
3 back-to-back best of 3s in the playoffs, and 13-11 wins coming out there from Big. Oh boy, there's some relief that we get towards the decider there. That was not an easy map to close out by any stretch.
Yeah, you saw Tabson there wiping the sweat off his brow and head and his hair because, geez, that did get down to the wire. And at a certain point, like you and I were saying, like 4 rounds in, geez, this looks like it's so over. FaZe are all over them. FaZe are looking amazing. Big have got nothing in this one. And then the choke begins. Then Big find their form. Then Grix steps up. Look at his numbers here and contrast that to his performance on Dust 2, his performance in the opening half. JDC had a massive game as well. This has been a massive turnaround from Big, even if it is still a close affair from FaZe, who are going to test them in the final map of the series, I'd imagine. But once again, the map stats were the favoritism part for the Big side. You're going into Anubis, but it was the exact same story.
Yeah, Anubis is going to be a wild one because it's just not being played a huge amount on LAN for either of these teams. We don't have a huge amount of sample size, so maybe it is just down to individuals. It's on the day performance. I mean, very rarely do you see a team that's 6-11 down come to all rounds in regulation. There's a lot of question marks. There's a lot to unpack out there on map number 2 of how it got so competitive towards the end. all it has to be said is that FaZe's job of qualifying to the major, it's not done yet.
It's not done by a long shot. Whilst Big might not have the LAN record on Anubis, they have those online results from CCT and Nodwin to play from, so they've got a basis of protocol and backing. Can they turn that into a magical return to spoil FaZe in their major campaign? It's Anubis to find that out after the break. FaZe have very nearly gotten this close to claiming their spot at the Cologne Major, but in the 13-11 fashion, Big will make us play out this whole best-of-3 series, this whole grand final. Anubis will now be the final battleground in which FaZe will need to go do or die to claim their prize.
And the last time both of these organizations won an Anubis official on HLTV on LAN, FaZe had Simple and Elige, and Big still had Rigon. I mean, we're talking a really long time ago. Man, this is going to be a crazy final map decider.
Yeah, it is. It most definitely is. And all logic goes out the window at this stage here, because you've got a map up that both teams don't play and win all that often, especially on the LAN environment. The one aspect for Big that gives them the favoritism is not so much the LAN environment, but more the online tournaments that we've seen out of them. Well, they have had some pretty juicy results. Are some questionable ones at the exact same time. 16-14 over Leo. I don't know how Leo are dragging you to overtime, but that is at least far better than what FaZe can say. They've lost some very one-sided affairs to the likes of Fnatic in the past. You've been pressed on the likes of Passion UA. Falcons obviously beat you in PGL, Occlusion of Poker not last month, the month before. So you've got some like very, very different set of results by comparison to that level of expertise.
And this is just the perfect finale to set up FaZe qualified to the major, Big denying that opportunity to go out on a map that neither team really wants to play. Now, I think it's going to be quite scrappy. And looking at some of the individual performances, I'm waiting for a blameF carry. Now, don't get me wrong, I think he played quite well towards the end there of Overpass, but nowhere near to how he performed against the likes of an Xera Tenacity, against Magic, against Beclick. He was farming. Like, he was just unstoppable. And I want to see that version of the in-game leader on the decider now.
Yeah, you and I saw that Beclick series, and we were sat there just going, man, blameF is absolutely pumping them, particularly on the Overpass of that map, of that particular best-of-3 series. So, like, there's a lot of things to consider in terms of him going ham. I think at this stage, though, any one player going massive could provide all that they need to. Grix was doing wonderful work on the last map up. JDC stepped up his own task there. Frozen, obviously the man we're looking at the most on FaZe, because he's been performing wonderfully all day long so far. And Brokey's AWP also delivered moments throughout the course of that last map the same. So you've got several individuals you can look at here. I think it's going to get so scrappy to the point, however, that you wouldn't even consider any of the major sort of stars as being the ones to watch out for. Anyone performing would be enough for either side. And for FaZe, they need someone desperately. Karrigan said it himself. If they don't qualify for the major, then they did not deserve it. Well, one more map to prove that you do.
And for Big, their track record of the entire playoffs, and maybe even the game against Beclick in the group, was that they probably could have lost all of those series. There were certain moments where it could have been maybe a 2-0, or could have even been a third map that they lost. They're still here, and they're still pushing on. And that excites me coming into the decider, because, look, the writing was on the wall for the 2-0 there. I think we really thought that the comeback was going to come at least towards an overtime, to at least see what happens there. And instead, we're going into a decider now where Big want to prove once more that they've got the depth in those decided maps. Now, they played a third map against Beclick. They played another one against Xera Tenacity. For FaZe, this is the first map that they've lost in the tournament, so they've not been pushed towards a decider yet.
Indeed, that is the case. Press the distance when it has been pretty prosy from the FaZe side is something that we've characterized their whole run being, right? No maps lost up until this best-of-3. And then one good return has come back from Big, who's maintained their way all the way up until the finish. And just imagine what it could do if Big were to take the series. I know it's not going to be an easy ask for them. It's going to be a scrappy affair from both sides, but just think about it for a second. Just think about what that could mean for FaZe and their campaign. It's kind of generation defining, honestly. Columbus 2016 up until now, they've been part of every single major. And this could be the first one that sees them out.
And in the grand final of the last 2 of 3, I mean, we've seen it in the past. Outsiders had a really good major run that they won, then they went into the very next RMR and couldn't even qualify. It does happen. It's happened quite frequently on occasion, but when you've got an organization as historic as FaZe to not be in the running. I mean, I remember when they were at the Blast RMR, they went through, what was it, the LCQ back then, and they only just beat that FaZe clan, beat the Cloud9 roster when they were still under FaZe, to just get it over. So they've had some close qualifications in the past, but this one right here, it does come down to the decider. It comes down to the third map of Anubis.
And against a side that have proven themselves to be a capable team within the Tier 2 space, Tier 1.5, we've called Big across this tournament, and well, now's the time to try surge into that Tier 1 lifeline, that Tier 1 level. Again, it will be a tough task. It will not be a walkover. I don't imagine that FaZe will have the same sort of scenario for their own right things. Only one blowout affair on Dust 2 to the favor of FaZe, so they have that much towards their name. And also brought it close towards the tail end of that overpass as well. So in terms of who's performed better in this series, I don't want to say that FaZe have been the better team, but will that be enough when Anubis comes to call?
Now, for Big, this will be one of the first times where they've been sent towards a decider in a LAN Grand Final and still have to try and push for the trophy. Because when they were at Roman Imperium back in January, they got a 2-0 win over Betclic. When they went to Sweden for United 21, they got a 2-0 win over Harvu. The one that they lost out to was recently in Bucharest. They went up against Sinners. Now, that final map decider was Overpass. Really slow start in that decider. They went down 3-9, tried to draw in a comeback, tried to get it as close towards overtime as possible, and they lost it in all rounds in regulation. So this is now a moment to prove that when it gets to the decider, that they've still got the depth. All that hard work they've had of trying to bring Grix into the team towards the tail end of last year, bringing forward a new in-game leader of BlameF, bringing forward Farfan, who's now his second time a part of this iteration, that it's going to be for the upgrades, not only for the qualification, but for LAN titles to eliminate FaZe's chances at the major.
And also dealing with the laggards of this side during the course of this series. Remember, Grix and BlameF have not had perfect matches. Grix in the last one, yes, sure, but Dust 2, he was missing, and even at the start of Overpass, he was missing a lot of great shots, a lot of key shots across that opening. It could have been a bit more of a better showing from Big on the scoreline had that not been the case. And you're still waiting, of course, for that big BlameF game, that big BlameF map-up that would give them that star potential and that easy little affair to kick things off. So, look, there's a lot of things to think about, a lot of things to consider, a lot of elements that will need to chime in at the right moments to offer up a good matchup for this side. And knowing they can play spoiler, this is Big's chance to write their names in the history books.
And for FaZe, this could very well be the last time we see this full five together. Whether they qualify to the major or not, I think a lot of people are still anticipating roster changes. They're still anticipating something to come. So if this is going to be the last time, if this is going to be the last map that we see all five, make sure it's a win. Make sure that it's the title over this big side to make sure that you guarantee yourself at the major itself.
Well, they will be off towards Bucharest after this fight, so it won't be the full-on last mapper, but most certainly probably the last grand final would see FaZe Clan in if they do not turn those results around. So, yeah, Pistols are about to go live for the final time tonight, for the final time in the competition. FaZe will take on Big on Anubis. Big on the T-side start. It's going to be an excellent way to kickstart this final one as they press on for their chance to spoil FaZe Clan's opportunities. Twists in the mid-access. USP trying to fire back out the window. He dives away. Jacob involved in his own shots, but missing them all. It's just damage being done towards the T-side line as Carrigan now gets involved at spawn. Draws first blood and second and third. Mayheel's headshots to all miss out, and BlameF can finally take him back down, but now Brokey chimes in to drop the one. JDC bombs on his back and known towards Temple, a 1v4 clutch.
Excellent shooting coming out from Carrigan. Had one of the best HLTV maps of all time. 12 years his highest rating on map number 1 of Dust 2. Didn't see much from him individually when it comes to Overpass, but striking early on Anubis. JDC in the 1v4. Well, if he gets one kill, he might be able to force a plant, but I don't think even that's going to be likely. Glyph player's not even been seen. Frozen to step out. What a start there from FaZe.
Okay. Early advantages still favouring this FaZe camp. They got away with 6 in a row on the first map of this series. And 4 in a row on Overpass 2. So Big will be playing from the back foot to kick things off. The pistol success certainly favouring Carrigan and these boys. 4 for 5 in pistol success, and Big have to deal with that as this T-side plays out. They are going to go in for the force buy in round 2.
Twist was very aggressive in the same position in the last round and got forced away just by the pace. Now this time, it's a lot slower, maintaining both mid and the canal's access. Now for Big, this has to be an A lean. BlameF can come in late. That resmoke, he does not give a damn. He's going through it.
Twist is wary of that much. He might have heard the footsteps. First one will clear. BlameF will get shut down. Distraction has at least provided JDC and a pathway back into pass the bomb off to his teammate, and Twist can't adjust down towards that Tech 9, so it's a kill back for him. 4 on 4 can ensue as he tries to sell them on potentially a wrap back over. There's utility coming in towards the execution though. Farvan selling the fake, and it looks like FaZe have bought it.
Carrigan is out of position. He's going to have to fight in the open out from Temple.
JDC wins out the kill as a result there. 2 for him. Bomb will go down. Advantage for Big here.
And fighting very heavily towards CT. If they don't get a kill within the next 5 to 10 seconds, this is just going to be a save.
Late lurking at water. We are watching for players to wrap from the A-bomb side, but they're all coming in from that CT spawn angle. Start to realise that with the utility being sent out the smoke. We'll now confirm it, and so Farvan will start to move back in. Flash over, Brokey checking the bomb site, looking left and right. JDC swings in, gets his kill. Grix with one as well. Brokey only one to respond back from FaZe. And Frozen now has to save. Big. Well, tone certainly has been set for them. A massive steal in the second round. JDC, a massive 3K sequence. Bails out his team from the man disadvantage and claims one back.
And perhaps you can say a bit of greed there from Twist. The opening man advantage was clean. He got an easy kill against BlameF. Did he need to be that aggressive out from the window and exposed towards the canal? He gives JDC a free kill that not only drops that M4, but it just allows a bit of movement on the CT side, doesn't it? You get Farfan and the boys setting up that fake towards A. They're drawing rotations. Carrigan's just in the open. And then JDC just makes a round out of it, turns his opening kill against Twist into a 3K.
Here I am for, of course, Frozen saving in the previous, naded down already. A little bit of damage being done. He's going to force the issue on KPC. KPC doesn't know he's coming, and eventual adjustments are there. Farvan gets 2 back on the return and deals with that threat quite handily. It's a force buy outside of that from FaZe, though. They've got upgrade pistols, but they've lost that rifle potential.
A really good stabilization now for Big. You know you're up against the force buy. You've already been able to deal with the canal's pressure. Just keep it slow. FaZe are going to have to either gamble stack or info play. Already seeing movement from Carrigan. And Jacob's not seeing anything from mid, so he's going to bring Brokey over. This B site is completely open. And if there is a walkout on a split, which is going to come through from B, it'll just be an instant save. We won't even see a retake.
Keep the Kevlar and pistols for what would be a non-investment round from FaZe, and not a full-on eco, obviously. To have that extra firepower. Carrigan still fights well against Grix, and Grix will burn him back. Bomb plant will be secured down default. Electric not being covered, but it doesn't need to be. The walk in mid from the last 2 FaZe players coming back out to the backstabs, and BlameF is going to be positioned to receive it. Hugging the corner wall. Jacob, shadow advantage. BlameF wins him. Next round from Brokey, also put down. And Big keeping spirits in high regard, leaving nothing for FaZe to hold over into the harsher eco round now.
Now, in the last 3 months, we've seen FaZe pick Anubis just once, and that was in PGL Cluj-Napoca back in February. Now, they picked it against Falcons, and they started on that CT side. They went down 3-6. So even though this is a decider, it's still starting on that same side. So keep that in mind of what maybe the scoreline is going to look like on the turn, how much leverage they need going into that second half. Neither of these teams will look at Anubis and say it's a good map in the pool for us. FaZe have got almost nothing going into round 4, and Big just know this is where you keep mass players alive.
He's going to face out Tabson here. He's got the bomb in his back, right? He needs to get out dodge. Tension's also out to Electric. JDC is going to put that man down. Tabson definitely caught flat-footed, but fortunately being bailed out by BlameF, and the backup's also right behind him with Grix. Brokey's tagged up. Jacob will go down, and Grix will land his kill in the round. So, a little bit of a moment. But all 5 stay alive for the Big side. 3-1 on the board. First set of rifles out for FaZe Clan.
Carrigan is tied first with Apex for the most major appearances at 21, only missing 2 since the start of CSGO, Jay. And you just think that's what you want from an experienced in-game leader, going into a decider, being 1-3 down, pressure on, being able to get under the skin of BlameF. This first gun round might speak volumes. We know how T-sided Anubis can be. What can Big do?
Pass out the gate from Big. Frozen go for the 1 pick. Tabson with the responsive. Frozen still involved in the back lines. Gets double. Triple kill secured. Bomb dropped and everything. BlameF and Grix will eventually catch him off. Extensions to the left and right. Oh, and Grix from range landing a headshot on Brokey. Wonderfully positioned, and bomb plant will get secured. Round is still on here for Big.
BlameF is still alive, so he's going to be a threat. Now, Grix is going to try and slow the rotates down from the canals. They do not have info on where these two CTs are repositioned in.
BlameF is so wary of that smoke. His eyes set towards it. As it starts to clear, he'll see nothing of the CT forces. The deeper smoke back towards the CT spawn angle. Grix watching the wraps. BlameF about to face onto two. Jacob seen. Spray is good. Ding down is also going to keep him low, so Twist can turn it back. 1v1. Grix is unknown. A rough idea of his positioning, though. Bomb plant towards default. No kits in play. He tries to put the smoke up, but he's out of time. He knows it. Gonna run for it. Maybe bait him into a fight, but he still wins it out for Grix. Triple in the round. Continuing to perform for Big, who continue to post the rounds. Tabson's fired up. So's JDC, and rightfully so. Big are off to a flyer.
We've got in the server today guys that have played at a lot of majors. We've got major winners. We've got Intel Grand Slam winners. And then you've got Grix that doesn't even have 70 maps played on LAN. The young 20-year-old, only just getting his taste at Tier 1. Man, what a shot that was against Brokey. That's a serious connection and a really good clutch against Twist to not overpeak, to not give the fight too early.
It's fast out from Twist, involved with the kill on Farben as FaZe try and half buy their way into a steal. JDC could get left isolated here at Canals. We've got players peeking in from the electric position, but backup has arrived. Meanwhile, BlameF walking into camera, seeing Brokey from mid. And sprays him back. Doesn't get the kill for it, though. They maintain a 4-on-4. FaZe. One man. That position with the smoke involved. Jacob and Moon puts it out to try block, but JDC charges ahead of it. Kill found on the man. Second player over at Heaven. Forced away by Molotovs, Frozen with one pick, only one pick. Grix and JDC combine, and Big make light work of this eco.
And no matter what the scoreline might say at the end here of Anubis, I want to give credit to Big here for just their attitude swap after map number one.
Yeah.
I think a lot of teams in a grand final, after getting stomped like that, will just think, whatever, let's just play on. There's not much in it. This series, if we lose, doesn't matter. The way that they've bounced back in the series has been excellent to watch. Great application. And now you come into the final map, and not only you start to fire quite quickly with rounds, but you're putting so much pressure on Karrigan and co.
Carrying a point blank, gonna get run down by Tabson on his spray. Brokey's orb can trade back. M4 Frozen drops that bomb. See the second man coming in. No further util out of the T side. Frozen triple sequence has finally shut down Big's momentum. Grix being spammed down as well. He'll get caught by Jacob in the end. As FaZe will find their second, and Big are forced to humble themselves.
Well, that's unlucky, okay? You go in for a B pop, and there's 3B. We've had previous rounds where it's been 2B, 2 towards mid, and then only 1 on A. And Frozen, he's just loving these multi-frags, isn't he? And the B anchor looks really solid out there towards CT. Really good control. Very good bursting of the players trying to come through that smoke. And for Big, they tried something a little bit more gimmicky. We had a round similar, wasn't it, on the T side of Overpass, where BlameF came through the util, came out Monster and pressurized B, so they've got that in their back pocket.
Rebuys available for Big. Karrigan, same story. Shoulder shot from Grix lands lightning fast. Karrigan not allowed the bait. Brokey's missed the mark of the first player. Back turn towards the second. Still finds Farben. Flicker the second player as well. Okay, we're game on now. 3-on-3. AK's available for the CT side retakers. Frozen will catch one beyond that smoke. BlameF is the victim. JDC and Grix finding their ways back out. Twist gonna get caught on the lurk play. Frozen pushing through the smoke. JDC puts him down, and Jacob flashing back forward and moves on to Grix, who will shut it back for Big. They will take a response. Look at how they feel right now.
Oh yeah, now we're talking. This series has been enjoyment, but now it is starting to really deliver. Some of the shots of multi-frags that are being hit from both sides. Oh man, what a round coming out of Brokey. Where did this come from? And then you just start seeing the trades back from JDC. You think that Frozen's on for another one with how he's playing out the CT? Oh, we're getting everything.
Okay. Strap in if you weren't strapped in already. 4 to the good on Big's advantage. FaZe responded to in kind. And it started to look a lot like how Dust 2 went down, just without that, just with the extra added flair. And Big in control of the T-side basis. But running away with the scoreline here, looking for a half advantage. And best case scenario of 10-2 at this juncture. Flashbangs forward into the canals out of Electric. One player was thinking of peeking at Karrigan. In the end, he's going to nade out that smoke and try and protect it from passive. Damage done to Farven is the best they can get away with for now.
And Karrigan just maintaining that pressure, keeping 3B like they've had previously. Very slow round here from Big. And Griggs, I mean, he's just feeling it right now. When that shoulder shot comes in for what Karrigan that's just jiggling B main, he's now going to start calling around himself a little bit. He's so confident that he is in an ability to just keep fighting out here towards B main. Oh, doesn't quite. Gets good info though. Sees two players, knows that they're taking space and should accelerate towards A.
He's going to try to punish that in Electric. Gets his kill. Doesn't get the second man. That's what Farven's there for though. Needs to get a response. Needs to bring it back to a 3-on-3. He gets back behind the smoke instead. And meanwhile, his teammates pushing. Look at tabseN. Two to line up, but none to go down. Bomb drop. blameF trying to trade. He'll catch Twist in the back. Flashes and Smokes will try to suppress, but he just charges into the bomb site. And Farven will join him from water.
blameF knows that Jacob's got to have backed off here, or Brokey's going for a really ballsy play.
blameF. Is he planting open here? Brokey can't deny. He can't take him down though. Farven stands alone. 1v3. Waiting for a wrap to come forward, a backstab to send. Instead, they're all inbound. Heaven controls, central site. Heaven players dropped off. Brokey, Karrigan swung, headshot secured. Defuse kit on Jacob. Brokey hits the shot, no baits allowed. No round gained for being on this one. Third to the board of FaZe.
But JDC knows himself, I needed that second, didn't I? And even Farfen probably knows out from Electric, I can't commit to that fight because if I lose it, we've now got nothing for an A split. But he also needed that one. We are seeing rounds that are pretty much coming down to one good kill, one key difference.
One good sequence sometimes. Big finally forced into submission. The AK on blameF as the hero weapon of the setup. Eco around it though, not even a half bite. Upgrade pistol on Grix. And Glocks for everybody else. Crossfire as well set into the camera position. Flashbangs forward, AWP missing. Twist gets run down by the numbers. Brokey can get one pick back on Farven. Teammate inbound from the mid position. Rotations up for the CT forces as Jacob's just going to deal with JDC, trying to draw him out of the bomb site. He's successful in that regard, so bomb plant will be secured. There'll be a cash bonus at least for Big. Now, one more can they gain with an extra rifle in hand?
Well, blameF needs to keep fighting, no matter where he goes. Beach, camera, A main, that AK needs to keep going.
blameF ready to cut the rotates. Grix standing by, tagged up, still finds a spray on Brokey. A blind shot, straight kill. Look back over the camera's entrance. tabseN looks to strike. blameF gets his kill. M4 leans up, the Deagle spam. blameF gets it back to 1v1. And Jacob on site. Diffuse, tapped, held. Needs to go all the way through with it. And blameF has scored a bluff that isn't there, but he gets to his man in the end. And Big continue to respond. A hero weapon gets a hero round.
And you've got to give a lot of credit to Grix for setting up that moment. So he's got the M4, but no one else has got upgrades. He doesn't have any armor. He gets himself a very good timing of the spam kill towards A, but then he repositions. He quickly tries to focus his attention out from camera. Look at these CTs. No one's looking at blameF. Everyone's looking at Grix. He's setting up the in-game leader for the round win.
Big. Oh, blameF caught switching the wrong move. Damage being done towards him. tabseN getting pressured meanwhile from the B main entries. Grix will land on Jacob. But tabseN will be able to deal with one of those picks. Second man will also go down. And order has been restored. It got scary for a second, but Big holds stabilization. Twist say M4 is going to have nothing in it. AWP shot straight from Grix. 8 to the border. Big. They mirror image this series. From down to this deficit on Dust 2 to up at this advantage on Anubis. Map 1 to map 3 differentials are clean and key and clear. And FaZe They're losing their grip now.
Indeed they are. Oscar, PR, and Neofrag may be the only Czech players to ever play at a major, but Beestick and Shock have got their fingers crossed. 5 more rounds for Big, for Sinners to make history.
And Frozen's going to try and deny it. tabseN caught. The aggressive face out. tabseN was not ready for that ward to come in so quick for FaZe. And Frozen, smart call to dip in, get the kill, get back out to this bomb site defensive. blameF going to have to extend quite far to grab his casualty, grab his trade. And nothing's seen. He's going to solo walk it. Smoke involved. Footsteps were heard. He just backs off. He knows he can't win that fight.
Oh, they're just so confident right now. blameF's 12-6. Grix is 13-6. And they're going for these individual maneuvers. Now, JDC's looking to try and force a player forward out there towards Electric. It doesn't quite happen with the util. It gets slow. It gets silent. And now it's about a regroup towards A for Big.
Making their way in slowly with 2 CT players, both watching camera. One's just broken away. Jacob with an SMG at range. Brokey with another one. Also at range right here. Flashbang forward. Fight the first. Doesn't get it. Farven with a kill back. Brokey with a missed nade. And that is AWP looking rather weakened here. JDC trying to wrap around that central box. Bomb plant secured. Attempted to be denied. And Brokey will get away with a kill at close, but the site is secured by Big. Man advantage of FaZe on the retake.
And blameF and Grix are still alive. If they're still up, they're still winning.
No damage done to Brokey, keeps him low. Shot missing from Grix though. Not the right time! Farven lines up a triple. And the Tech-9 trying to secure the last. Twist getting involved in a 1v3. One man secured, second man seen. And desperately hunting for the third player. Grix is baited. Twist in these clutches. Tries to bail out FaZe once again. blameF out of there. There's no kit in play either. Time may already be too far gone. He's desperate to see Blame. But it's too late, far too late. Blame will even get the kill for good measure. A 9-3 half for Big. Oh, FaZe. Is this the bottle job of the ages?
What is that round from Farfen? Oh my goodness. All of our eyes and attention may have been brought forward to Grix and blameF on this map just because of the individual sequences. But come on, that's ridiculous. I can't believe the spray transfer he gets. Oh my lord. A triple. Oh, now we're talking.
Six rounds to the good. FaZe enter the T side. And what a T side it needs to be. At least their history on this map favors it. Into the pistols, Big to win this round, would put them down. Grix looking for a multi-frag sequence of his own as his Julies taps away on 2, but Twist gets 2 back. 3 on 3, the A site will see a bomb plant once again, this time from FaZe.
And now tabseN has got to try and reposition himself. Now there is a timing here where they can already be up heaven. That will be communicated over.
Revealing himself to Joseph Blind, taps beyond the smoke. tabseN challenging Brokey. Brokey tag low. Backstab being watched by Karrigan. His own Julie set up against the Julies of blameF. IGL v IGL as Twist takes down tabseN. blameF gets Karrigan. Twist runs out of HP and Brokey into a 1v1. Going to try and stall out time, but blameF is too quick to the peak. He will have the defuse. He will have the pistol round. Big. Oh, they're doing it. Oh, it's coming undone. Oh, FaZe, they're in trouble.
They're in big trouble. Great rounds coming through from Big, and you can see the emotion. They know that this is on. And let's remember, FaZe won the pistol to start this map. They got reset, and since then, it's only been individual rounds. They have been smoked. blameF is carrying. Grix is performing. Farfen is doing mental things to close out the half. And this may just be too far gone already. The scoreline difference. I can't believe we're here. When FaZe were in a position, when they were up 11-3, 11-3 versus Illwill earlier on in the playoffs, in those semifinals, and now they might be down 3-11 on the decider in the final.
What have you got for us, Karrigan? Forced buy-in from FaZe with the bomb plant bonus. AK on twists. Lil for Brokey. And FaZe had to receive the walk contact. JDC, I think it's the AK. Fight won by Twists, all important. Does blameF want to extend more? Flashed in, finds the fight. Second man spotted, he takes a tag shot. And blameF going to get rid of that M4, make sure it doesn't fall into the T-side hands. He knows that their buy must be wrecked.
Oh, Brokey was thinking there was another player up on the angle, perhaps even a little bit nervous at this kind of scoreline to be re-peeking back in. Has he just given blameF too much respect there? I can't believe we've not seen a duel.
It's quite possible. Now he holds the box wall, the angle in towards mid with Grix on the far side. Sees one, gets out of the way. M4 of blameF wins the second fight. Grix tries to engage that next man, and blameF flings forward, but loses his life. Frozen and Jacob with 2 to return. A 2v2 established, and Frozen gets out of the way. Out from mid to grab that bomb track, committed to the B bomb site, because Karrigan has taken space in the interim. Farven's about to face him. The Eagle stands to attention, but Farven wins it. And it's Frozen alone. Reveal with the bomb tapped, expecting CT to have regressed through main. Tabson slowly peeking up to deny. And he will deny the round, not the plan, but it's good enough for Big.
Big get themselves now in 2. And just look at what it means to them right now. Look at the frustration, the tilt here from FaZe. When map 2 went all rounds in regulation, when this could have been a 2-0 win for them in the final.
And by all accounts, it should have been. They were all over Big on Dust 2. And they had the most wondrous start on the CT side of Overpass that had us convinced within the 4th round that it was going to be enough. But no. Big cling on for dear life, change their attitude, change their mental, change their performance, and deliver round after round, time after time. And map after map, Jacob with the opening on Grix at least starts things for FaZe in this one, but Farven is so fast to trade it.
They just get that quick trade back, but this might still be an A fake. You've got a mid lurk coming through from Frozen. There's a lot of util going into A, but no commitment for the in-game leader.
Well, JDC was looking to regress through canals, but he got counter flashed as the teams will check that angle. Bomb's going to get picked up and recommitted towards the A bomb site. You've got 3 defenders total. A last second cancel will still be accounted for, but Farven lands his second kill. Karrigan falls, Frozen down at Tabson's path. Brokey and Twists. An impossible task in his 2v4 with no weaponry, no utility. And the bomb not even close to the bomb site here. Brokey's trying to take up some space. Catch blameF off guard, but the Tech9's getting nothing. Twist taps it, gets 2 kills out of it as well. But a player close, you got the drop off. Farven's protected by that smoke for now. And Twists 1v1 here in this context. Got to deal with JDC after the fact. Waiting for the extension, he can't do it. Farven lands yet another. In a triple in the round, and it's map, match, and tournament point. FaZe need 9 to come back, lest their Cologne chances go up in smoke.
Big are back. They are bound for the major and bound to get back to the tier 1 level. Nearly 4 years since they've been able to defeat FaZe on land. That's a long time coming. A lot of roster changes, new identities, new in-game leaders, and new AWPers. 9 series points now for Big.
Karrigan can't win the fight on Grix. The extension of the SMG beaten by the M4. And they're down to 4. FaZe entered this tournament 4, went PGL to try and get their chance at Cologne. But it's looking to be an all-wasted effort. A tournament in vain. And a matchup that will fall to pieces. Brokey down next. Jacob trying his best to save his side. But it's still a man advantage for Big here.
They're getting the util to try and slow these rotates, and Twist knows, I just have to try and set up Jacob. With me being this low, I just need to pull distraction.
And that's Farben with the kill. Twist down and out, but Jacob falls, and FaZe have run out of bullshit. Big will send them away from Cologne as they take the championship in HLC Cyprus Pro.
From reaching the grand final at the very last major to now not even qualifying to Cologne, what a statement this has been from Big, and what a collapse this entire year has been for FaZe Clan.
Just when you thought they were turning their fortunes around, just when you thought this Tier 2 tournament would have been FaZe's ticket to Cologne, Big play spoiler, send them out. There's nothing left for them. And surely at this stage, with Tier 1 and Tier 2 going down for them, there has to be changes, there has to be conversations. They look so frustrated, and rightfully so. This series was wrapped up from the word go, but Big bring it back and they claim the championship. An unexpected result from what we saw at the start of the series. Unbelievable, Dwayne. Absolutely unbelievable scenes.
And this was the final test. We've seen Big getting to LAN Grand Finals this year. We've seen them win titles in Sweden, in Portugal, but now they come here and defeat FaZe, their first Tier 1 opponent in the entire year. It is absolute cinema.
Indeed it is. You couldn't have told a better story. This was the grand final we wanted. I imagine the result that certain people wanted, the Sinners side, are definitely cheering out in their neck of the woods, and Big most certainly in their side of things as well. They already achieved what they came to achieve here in the championship and making it to the grand finals, and here they stand with an excellent showing as well to add to their record. They reduced the level of key competition that they have to face up against during stage 1, and they got so much out of this. I'm literally lost for words here, Dwayne. I genuinely believe that Big couldn't do anything after that first map. I genuinely did. I know you definitely did too, so I'm so impressed by them, and as you said earlier, Big are back.
Indeed they are, and they're here to make a statement back towards Tier 1. I think, again, if we're going to be realistic with ourselves, it was the partner systems that kept them in Tier 1 towards that tail end of the slump right before they came down. And now they've taken a new identity. They had a lot of coaching staff come and go. They've decided on their right men. They've got Zen in as the head coach. They've got Tizzy in as the assistant coach. tabseN finally freed of the in-game leadership to look at a new direction. And all you can say is give praise to management. Brand new AWPer, brand new in-game leader, and what looks to be a brand new Big.
Indeed it is. Again, this team has impressed me basically since we first saw them come together at the tail end of the last year. The additions of blameF and Farben have only added to the cherry on top, and they just seem like such a well-coordinated unit, a team that really, I think, can go a lot further than people might initially expect. Tier 1.5 most definitely in my eyes, are confirming it now with a win over this FaZe Clan side, and onto the major, onto more Tier 1 events, I'd imagine, in the very near future. This is a team to contend with now. This is a team that will look to try and maintain more of themselves. They've been at the top end in the past. They've been at the highest end of the scene. I think they can go back there again now.
And now it's about getting to the arenas again. I think when we think about Big back in the day, a lot of people remember the online era, right? The 2020 successes when they had Santares, when they were the #1 team in the world. Everyone will remember Smooya getting to a Cologne final, right? 2018. We're talking so long ago. We're talking about a different era of Counter-Strike. So to now be here in 2026, when across the board, it's so much more international than native of how it used to be back in the day. It's a time for Big to get back to that environment again. Now, being able to be pushed in towards the Tier 1 circuit is very difficult for Tier 2 teams. They've not managed. There's been so many organizations that have spent crazy money, really flopped. Look at Fnatic, look at BC Game, look at now what Big's been able to achieve, going back to the roots, keeping a German core and being able to push themselves back up the divisions again.
But not without that international spice. Grix certainly turned it up in this best of 3 from moments where he thought it was a liability. blameF, obviously the new captain of the squad, leading the charge and having his own individual games of brilliance, right? And maybe not so much in this series, but he had his moments across this tournament and certainly have had moments for the Big side in general. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to be able to do with the pieces on the board here. To close things out for the FaZe side though, Dwayne, I mean, look, this has obviously got to be the kind of matchup that really will define the future for this team, right? They will be off to Bucharest. Yeah. We know they're going to go back to PGL and try and compete from their 0-2 Swiss. They forfeited their first 2 games to be here at this stage. So, look, for them, they've got a little bit of time left of this 5-man unit, but I think you said earlier, this might be the signal for change now.
Yeah, it has to be, right? If this isn't, I don't know what else will be. I mean, what a failure this year has been. To think that they went to Drakland and got grouped by Fnatic, and then you come here and you're losing to Big. Oh, it's a huge wake-up call. This is easily the lowest point that FaZe have ever been in the organization's history.
Indeed it is. Unfortunately for them, their Cologne run ends before it even begins. Out in second place of HLC, a grand final finish, but they were gunning for the major for good reason. And Big will reign supreme as we thank you all so much for watching and for listening over the course of the last few days. It's been a very fun tournament to be part of. Maybe some one-sidedness, but certainly an epic way to close things out. So we'll thank you all again for watching. We bid you adieu until the next event. It's good night from myself, the Eternal J, my co-commentator Dave, and all the production staff and admins behind the scenes. We'll see you back here very soon, but until then, good night and goodbye.